I'm just sitting here waiting for some participants. In the meanwhile, I'm enjoying myself outside. I'm across the street at the park/courthouse from my apartment. And anyway, let's see who all joins. While I wait for some participants to join me live, I just want to reach out to my addicts that are still suffering in silence due to addiction and let you guys know that there is hope. Within my fingertips, I obtained some information when I went to this year's Cocaine Anonymous convention. And it says here, Cocaine Anonymous, do you have a problem with drugs and alcohol? So did we. There's a website and a helpline that will give you further information in regard to, obtaining some help with your addiction. And right here is the information. And just note, you do not have to be an addict to obtain this information. Maybe you know someone that's an addict still suffering in silence that could benefit from the information that I just showed you guys. Anyway, I'm going to continue to wait for some participants. Hopefully I get a couple of you guys before hopefully I get a couple of you guys before I retreat back home and prepare for the work week. Oh my God, I may be turning my car on because it is hot here in Arizona. If you are familiar with Arizona, I'm not going to give you my exact location, but there is a place called, Case. I'm sorry, you guys, but my nose was itching. There's a place called Casey's Up to Bat, if I'm not mistaken. I am pretty much right across from, hold on one second. This is the place that I'm talking about, Casey's Up to Bat. And it's like a place where, this electronic thing throws the baseball or whatever the case may be, and people hit the motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry. I hold on. I am calling myself not cursing anymore, you guys. So bear with me. Thank you guys for joining me live. I really do appreciate it. I have I've had the opportunity to go live with my followers for a while now, and I just never took that opportunity to do so. I think that I went live with you guys maybe once or twice, but if I really want to engage with my followers, and if I really want that connection with you guys, I have to step outside of my comfort zone and make it happen. And I've been so less than smart, you guys. There has been a few individuals, experts of YouTube and experts of Instagram, that have reached out to me in regard to SEO monetizing my content. They see the value in regard to my message reaching out to those addicts that are still suffering in silence due to addiction, and they see the value in my platform. I just did not see the value in my own platform and my own message. Obviously, I just didn't have faith in addiction, and I'm going to remove relapse and keep it addiction and recovery. But I replied back to the, oh, hello, how are you? Hello. Bear with me, I'm new at this. So if I make some mistakes along the way, I do apologize. Tana, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that's your name. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining me live. I'm sweating. I'm in my car. I'm across the street from my apartment at this park/courthouse. I'm on the courthouse side of things, pretty much live with you guys. I do appreciate each and every last one of you guys for having some form of contact with me. Anyway, I have so many different plans for this Oh my God, I have to turn my car on, you guys, because I look like a hot, sweaty mess. Hold on, let me get out the car and show you guys what's going on in my area. Now, mind you, while I was going through my drug addiction, this very park, I used to pick up scallywags and twist that methamphetamine pipe. I was living ratchet. I was, baby. I'm trying to, I'm trying to refrain from using certain language. But anyway, the park is on the opposite side. This is the courthouse side of things, but I still twist the methamphetamine pipe right in this parking lot. I picked up scallywags and I did all type of shit right here. Hold on, let me show you guys where I'm at. Can I zoom in? Oh, I can. Anyway, this street, I won't tell you guys because it may give y'all a little bit too much information in regard to where I'm at. But I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm on the north side. In this very parking lot is where I do a lot of my recordings for you guys. This is the courthouse side of things. So that's the courthouse right there. And the park section is all over there. This is Casey's Up to Bat, or whatever you call it. And hold on, let me see if I can zoom in a little more. But anyway, as you know, you guys can hear the machine throwing the ball to the individuals in line waiting to hit it. Okay, 1 second. Oh my God. Anyway, you guys, like I said, I wanted to connect with you all on a whole different level. And I've had this opportunity to connect with my followers live for a while now. And I've just been less than smart in regard to putting that extra effort into my content. It's not just about sitting behind a camera with a microphone, recording content on an intermittent basis and uploading it or whatever. I have to fully engage, and this is why I want to take it to the next level. We're getting ready to move, my followers. I won't be in this particular location. I will be a little bit closer to the mountains, something that I manifested, and we'll be in the apartment complex, but there will be a lot of color moving forward. There will be a lot of how can I say it? There would just be a lot of more things like a backdrop, for the past few years that I've been on YouTube. I just really never had anything in the background that would engage you guys. So there's a lot of things that are going to be changing moving forward. I'm reaching out to organizations here in the Phoenix area in regard to collaborations, such as organizations like Recovia that I just graduated from in regard to their 18-week intensive program. I want to reach out to them and see if possibly we can collaborate. And I don't want to do a contract with individuals because that may be asking a little bit too much from me. But if we can collaborate and maybe they can sponsor my social media platforms on my podcast, in exchange, I will promote them on my platforms. So I have a lot of things planned moving forward. I'm also in, I would say a partnership with someone that I met on podcast by the name of Miss Mo. They are also on Instagram, Facebook, and things of that particular nature. Anyway, we have brainstormed in regard to some things centered around the addiction recovery family. I don't want to give too much away because people will steal your ideas, and I don't want anyone to take these particular ideas that we brainstorm and that I brainstorm on my own for the addiction recovery community. What else? Oh my gosh. Anyway, like I said, I received that email from the expert of YouTube in regard to SEO monetizing my content. And I'm reading the big book, which is geared towards Alcoholic Anonymous. And I'm thinking that I can do all of this by myself. I think that I have God powers, and only God can make certain moves without putting in funding and things of that particular nature. And the individual from YouTube, basically, how can I say it? Solicited their offer, and in lack of better words. And my reply back to that was, is this a pro bono offer? And if it's not, I'm pretty much not interested. They replied back in a nutshell and said that they don't do anything for free, and it kind of turned me off. But thinking about it, I'm just like, you know what? You're gonna probably have to fund your cause in order to reach a broader array of individuals. And reading the big book alone, those people, the people that created the big book, the Alcoholic Anonymous book, they had to have came off of some form of funding, because that book exceeded 1,450,000 copies, and I'm pretty sure they received sponsorship, and I'm pretty sure they received different fundings from different organizations. But in a nutshell, they still had to fund this particular Alcoholic Anonymous book in order for it to exceed 1,450,000 copies. And it definitely influenced me reading that particular section in the book, that I just may have to fund addiction and recovery in order for my platform to reach a certain status, which I'm not really, I'm not here for the following, the likes, none of that defines me and my platform. I'm here mainly to save those addicts out there that are still suffering in silence, but I cannot do that alone. And I am messing up collaborative offers because I think that I have it all in the bag. And obviously I don't, because if I did, my platform would be a little more well known than what it is right now. So what I'm going to do is reach out to the individual that emailed me in regard to SEO monetizing my content on YouTube, and I'm going to apologize for my 3D conscious response in regard to their offer. And I'm going to see if they are still interested in collaborating with me in regard to SEO monetizing my content, see how much how much it's going to cost me. And once I get settled after moving and all of that type of stuff, I will allow the big dogs in regard to Instagram and or YouTube to do what they do best, and that is monetize individuals' content and get them to a certain status or whatever. And if I, it's no different than me funding my podcasting platform. If I'm not putting funding into that particular platform, then I won't be able to reach an array of individuals in regard to my particular cause. It's no different than the merch that I am looking into, that I want to introduce to you guys later down the line. I have to put money into that particular cause in order to get my message on those particular shirts and give them to and present them to you guys. So there's gonna have to be, I'm gonna have to come off greenback. I already see that, and I wasn't okay with that, but I'm okay with that now, considering I really do want to be about the cause. I don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it. I went to a specific job fair held here in Mesa, Arizona, and the job fair was called the Second Chance Event. And I'm glad that I attended that particular job fair, because it's centered around helping individuals basically individuals that were freshly released from prison and or jail rehabilitate themselves and get jobs so that they can, support themselves and or their loved ones and make a, earning just like the rest of us. And they were hiring for various different positions. And I'm going to upload that particular content for you guys because there are a lot of addicts out there that have ruined their lives due to addiction, and now they are released from the system and they are trying to rehabilitate themselves by getting employment and whatever else, and it's hard for them to do that considering their past. So hopefully I can help in that regard by uploading what I obtained from that particular second chance hiring event. Anyway, they were hiring for peer support specialists. And as you guys know, I am a peer support specialist. I earned that certificate October 22nd of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I just never had the chance to utilize my certificate. And I felt that this would be a huge opportunity if I went to that particular second chance job event and, filled out an application and, whatever else the case may be in regard to a peer support specialist position. It gets me closer to being a part of my cause. I'm talking about it, but I want to be about it. I went through the necessary training in regard to my current position, which centers around taking care of intellectually challenged and or special needs individuals. That's pretty much 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. I'm learning patience. I'm learning how to cope and deal with various different walks of life. This job alone has changed me for the better. These people that have physical ailments, oh my gosh, they're how can I don't want to be rude, but they're going through it in regard to their disabilities, but yet and still 90% of the time that I go to work, these individuals are the happiest people on earth. And I'm living by example through these individuals that I, have been chosen to take care of and be there for. But anyway, I, gave my resume to the individual at that particular event hiring for peer support specialists. I'm going to follow up with that particular email because I emailed them my resume and whatever else. I'm going to follow up with them on a Tuesday to see what has came about in regard to that particular email, and hopefully they want to move forward. It's not going to be easy, becoming a peer support specialist. There's a lot of training behind that, and there's a lot of knowledge that goes into that and whatever else. But I'm willing to go through that particular training in order to, plant both feet into my cause and not talk about it, but be about it. Also, what else did I want to talk to you guys about? Oh my God, I should have wrote some things down, but I wanted to, come across the street before the sun went down so that I could address, whoever, joined me live. And thank you guys very much for, I don't care if you come here and leave or whatever the case may be. I just really appreciate any love at this particular point. I understand that you guys probably aren't going to trust me in regard to engaging and staying here and whatever else, because I haven't devoted time like that to my followers here on YouTube, and I'm here to change that. I'm definitely going to engage with you guys a lot more, and I'm going to come with resources for my people of addiction out there still suffering in silence, and go from there. But anyway, it's a beautiful night here in Arizona, and if there are any addicts in the Arizona area that are looking for some support and a safe place to go, feel free to stop by this particular channel, introduce yourself, and hopefully I can, lead you to some meetings. And speaking of meetings, you guys, I am 100 and I believe 4 or 5 days clean from methamphetamine as of today. I am clean from it. I haven't touched methamphetamine. I haven't picked up any. Quite frankly, I am 100 in either 4 days or 5 days clean from methamphetamine. I'm that same exact. I'm 104 or 5 days clean from porn. I'm 104 or 5 days clean from perversion. I'm 104 or 5 days clean from sex and all of that. I am super, super happy with myself at this particular point in my life. I mean, like I said, this parking lot alone had a lot of drug activity going on, at night or whatever the case may be. And I was a part of that. I contributed to that. Now I stand in this parking lot recovered and I'm happy. I reached the 60-day mark. I reached the 90-day mark. And now I am 104 or 5 days clean from methamphetamine. And if I can do this, my people of addiction, I was going to say addiction, relapse, and recovery, but my people of addiction and recovery, you guys can do this too. I also graduated from Recovia's 18-week intensive care program here in Arizona. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Recovia, Recovia is a organization primarily stationed here in the Arizona area that centers around helping individuals with mental health issues, substance abuse issues, and mobility issues. There's science to back up their claims and whatever else. And, it's a great organization, but it could only do so much for me. There's other people out there with severity levels higher than mine that could occupy those seats that I used to occupy. I went through their 18-week intensive care program. I do believe I started that program. I think I called for the intake on June 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And I started the actual program on the 6th of June, if I am not mistaken. And I faithfully went to that organization twice a week, 4 hours a day. And it took up a lot of my time. But if you are the type of addict that is in how can I say it? If you are the type of addict that's in the fight for your sobriety and your recovery, you would do anything possible to make that happen. And that's what I did. Even though I did not want to be a part of those group sessions, even though I did not want to hear those therapists, even though I did not want to give them 4 hours of my time, twice a week, is what I did in order to get to this particular phase of my recovery. And, like I said, the program is a great program for individuals in the Arizona area that is, still suffering in silence due to addiction. I would recommend them anytime. But they tried to be very influential in regard to me entering into their supportive care program. And I understand an organization like that is there to help individuals, dealing with substance abuse, mental health, issues and whatever else. But they're also there to make money in order to feed their families, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, organizations such as Recovia and other institutions that are there to help people with, substance abuse issues and things like that are influenced to get an individual into the next phase or whatever the case may be, depending on what that organization has in regard to, recovery. But anyway, in order for me to enter into Recovia's supportive care program, I would have to attend twice a week for 2 hours a day instead of twice a week for 4 hours a day. And it's broken up over time, over a year's time. And the more that I go, the less that I will have to attend and whatever else the case may be. And I thought about it long and hard, and I'm not too good, popping collar. I'm not too good to go into Recovia supportive care now that I've graduated from their active care program. But I already have a primary therapist. I already have a primary psychiatrist and a primary doctor. And come to find out, my primary, cares organization offers supportive care. I'm damn sure not going to enter into life without continuing on with supportive care. Relapse is right around the corner for not only myself, but for any addict out there, trying to reach sobriety. And excuse me. And I know that I must continue to place protective barriers in front of myself in order to elude relapse. I was supposed to, or I was going to, attend a 12-step meeting tonight, but I refrained from doing so in order to take care of business in regard to packing, cleaning up, taking care of business on social media, answering emails and things of that particular nature, prepping up for my work week, the necessaries. But I definitely wanted to take this time out, even if people aren't staying here while I'm speaking. People are coming and going, and that's a good thing. It lets me know that my energy is being felt. I have 2 likes in regard to this particular content, so I thank individuals very much for those likes. There are a few people that are engaging, and I do understand, like I told you guys, I'm gonna have to build up trust from you guys because I never really go live on this particular platform. So it's going to take some time and effort to gain your guys' trust. But there's also another thing that I want to do for my addicts out there that are still suffering in silence and or denied. I'm going to create content in regard to what I'm about to tell you guys, but I have kefir grains. I have milk kefir grains. Back in my Vegas years of, abusing methamphetamine, I came across water kefir grains. And I kind of vowed to myself back in my Vegas years of abusing methamphetamine, I am going to try my best, considering I was poisoning my body with harsh chemicals and things like that. If you are familiar with methamphetamine, you know that there's nothing but harsh chemicals, mixed in, with it. Anyway, I vowed to myself back in my Vegas years of abusing methamphetamine that I am going to consume as many healthy things that I can possibly consume to, how can I say it? I don't want to say counteract, but uh, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's kind of hard to explain, but in a nutshell, I was poisoning myself with methamphetamine, and when I was introduced to fermenting kefir and putting all of those good probiotics into my body, it changed my life, and I want to I want my addicts out there to live their most healthiest lives, considering we poison and damage ourselves with whatever drug of choice that we abused at that particular time. And I'm trying to formulate something in regard to how I want to do this. Now, if you look on eBay and YouTube and things like that, a teaspoon of milk kefir and or water kefir will cost you a pretty penny. I'm willing to come off of milk kefir and water kefir, maybe on a monthly basis, for my addicts out there suffering in silence and or denial, in order for you to regain your health. But it won't come, it won't come for free. Trust me. And, I could be making money off of, this milk kefir and this water kefir. What I want from my, people of addiction out there is to share their stories, either on my Facebook platform. I have to figure this out. It's about continuing the power of sharing. And the power of sharing could benefit someone out there dealing with addiction. Your story alone could help that next person, take those necessary steps into sobriety and recovery. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this in regard to receiving your stories of addiction in order to earn some of my milk kefir or water kefir grains. either way it goes, I have a lot of things in store for this particular platform moving forward, and I know I said this before, but y'all have bear with me for the long haul, and I owe it to my followers to do something special for you guys and engage more, and take it from there. I want this particular platform, I have to dream big. I want it to go viral, and even if it doesn't go viral, I'm okay with that. You know, behind the scenes, I'm working with the invisible. I have deities on my side working on my legacy, and I have the ascended masters working on things as well in regard to, how can I say it? Oh my God, in regard to a lot of different things. I'm very spiritual, aside from, one thing that I'm never going to allow is my addiction to define who I am. I'm going to allow my addiction to refine me. And that process has already begun, or began. So along the way, you guys are definitely going to see me ascend into a whole different person, aside from the person that you guys know me as, that person that was picking up scallywags, twisting methamphetamine pipes, watching porn, doing this and doing that, just living ratchet. Now that I am Team Source, Team God, or whatever you guys want to refer to him as, things are changing tremendously in a very positive way. And I just want to live my life with purpose. And I already know that my life has purpose. I just want to fulfill that purpose moving forward. And hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I was eating popcorn before I went live, and I still have kernels in my mouth. I do apologize. Look, I'm being me. I don't want to be anyone else but me. I want to give you guys I want to give you me no different than what I want to give you me no different than how I gave myself to you guys via the content that I have been uploading thus far. But I want to give you guys even more of me, as time goes on. I'm not just, addiction and recovery. There's a lot of other things that are associated with this particular addict that's holding this camera, with this microphone. This is one reason why I do what I do. I'm spiritually contracted to make a difference in this world. And my life of addiction has helped a handful of people thus far. I don't want it to help a handful of people. I want it to help a ton of individuals. And I know that I have my work cut out as well. I need to educate myself a lot more. I want to be a better speaker in regard to my niche. There's just a lot of things that I need to do. I need to reach out to corporations in regard to sponsorships and stuff like that. I need to come with, tools for you guys to move forward in regard to your sobriety and or recovery. So there's a lot that I need to do on my end in regard to supporting my own particular platform. Yeah. Anyway, the sun is going down. Thank God I still have a tinge of light on me. So I guess I will, stay here for a little while longer before I head back to my apartment and get ready for the work week. Thank you guys once again for engaging. I really do appreciate it. Even though I only got 2 likes, those 2 likes says a lot. My energy is being felt, and what more could I ask for? Even though people are coming and going and they're not really engaging, that's okay. I have a handful of people that, introduced themselves and said hello and whatever else the case may be. And that makes me happy, that people are receiving me. That's all one could ask for. That's in my particular shoes. That's trying to get a message out there and trying to get people to be a part of their cause. I'm not asking for money or anything like that. All I'm asking is for individuals, especially addicts out there, to come forward, share their stories of addiction and recovery, so that it can help that next addict out there that has a similar struggle, like theirs. But we have, we don't have to, but I would like for us to do this together. I'm still a work in progress. Excuse me, I'm still a work in progress myself, but I'm a work in progress that is making it happen, not just for myself, but in a symbolic sense. I'm making it happen for those addicts out there that truly need the strength, the light, the power, and the courage to place one foot in front of the other and gain that sobriety and recovery for themselves. I noticed along the way of going to certain NA meetings that a lot of people gave their battle of addiction up to man before they gave it up to the spirit realm. And reading the big book alone, it has a lot of influence in regard to God and having a spiritual experience or enlighten or what is it called, spiritual awakening. And throughout my addiction and before, I've had several spiritual awakenings. I just, failed to ignore them. But I want to help my addicts out there reach sobriety so bad that I'm willing to fund my platforms in order to make that happen. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I am doing this for a cause. I'm not doing it for anything impetuous. But anyway, I guess I will get ready to end this content and head to the apartment and cook myself something for lunch tomorrow. Put this henna on my beard and go from there. Once again, all of my people of social media, especially all of my addicts in the world that are suffering in silence due to addiction, I am DEEVENOM. Hopefully, I'm here to raise a couple of vibrations and help those addicts that need help the most. I've been at this platform working, I feel, hard, but not hard enough. And I promise you guys that I'm going to put a lot of more effort into reaching out to those addicts in the world that need to not only hear my message, but hear the messages of encouragement the most. Addiction and recovery is a huge movement. Facebook and Instagram alone, but Facebook has so many groups geared towards Alcoholic Anonymous, NA Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, Porn Anonymous, just pretty much every addiction. I'm loving it. This lets me know that this movement is a serious movement. It's still undercover to a degree, but it's a serious movement that is going to take off real soon. Real soon. The addiction and recovery movement is going to be something that is going to make its mark in this world. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this content. Much love to each and every last one of you guys. Thank you all once again for engaging. I really do appreciate it. And until I go live again, namaste. Bye-bye. Hold on. Let me see if I can end this. Hold on, you guys. Remember, I'm new at this. So, hold on. Hello, whoever just joined the platform. Thank you very much for your energies. I'm about to get ready to head off, but thanks a lot. Hold on. How the hell do I end? Look, baby. You flip, retouch. I tell y'all have to bear with me. I'm new at this, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So hold on. Okay, hold on. Maybe this will end it. All right. Thank you guys. Bye bye.